Hey guys, welcome to Reclaim Studio. My name is Sal, and we're here with another episode. Today we're going to talk about inventory, and most importantly, we're going to talk about sequential system for our inventory. Some of you might watch the other video. If you didn't, there's a link below where I'll have a video on my shelving, and I previously talked our inventory, but mainly how the system works on the shelves that I'm using. Today we're going to talk about the sequential numbers, which are the numbers that I use for our inventory, especially when you're growing, or even if you're not, if you're thinking this seriously, if you want to go a long term. To me, this is the best way of using it. I started at home like many of you, and I started with the bin system, A through C, and then A1, A2, and put them all in a bin. It worked for me for a while. I quickly realized that I needed to change my game, and I quickly did that. I'm glad I did. I'm not saying the other system is wrong. It works for many of you, and it's perfect for me for the way I set it up. It allows me more space, maximize time when I'm picking the items. So there's pros and cons, but I'm gonna tell you in this video what works for me and what it didn't work on the other system. So stick around. So whether you're using bins, whether you're using this type of inventory, I use both. I started with bins, like I mentioned earlier. This is what I found the best way that works for me: maximize space and minimize error while I'm getting ready to ship items. So the way that works is this will be my oldest inventory. So let's say you're starting from 1 to 20, depending on what you're doing. If you're doing shoes, you probably can fit 10. If you're doing t-shirts, you can probably fit 20 to 25. So let's say we start with this one, and the number 1 will be here all the way to 25. Let's say you're doing t-shirts, 26 through 50, so on and so forth. But the way that goes is we start from the left, going to the right on each shelf at the end, and then we'll start again on the next shelf over, left to right, kind of a snake pattern, left to right, and that's how I do it for each of the shelves. So that's how I am able to wrap around the whole storage unit. Okay, I'm on the other side of the storage that you saw earlier. Again, this is a different shelf. And again, like I mentioned, I'm gonna go from left to right. Let's say you have an order. I'm looking for a particular number. In this case, I'm just gonna make up a number. It's 147.35, right? So I'm gonna look starting from my left on this shelf, because I know the 140s are here. So I see 146.81. I know it's not gonna be here. 146.98. I'm getting closer, but as I can see, it will be on this next one, going from left to right. 147.28, 29, 147.30, 33, 147.30. Here it is. I found it. So makes it super easy. If you notice, one thing that I want you to notice too is I went from 147.33. You were missing 147.34. That means it already sold. That means it's jumping to the next number. That way you're not able to resell the item or reuse the number. It already sold. You won't be able to use it again. If you made it to this part of the video, thank you. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe so we can build a stronger community. Also, stick around towards the end of the video. I'm going to give you tips that are going to help you with your inventory system, whether you're using a bin system or you're using a numeric system. These are tricks that I find helpful to minimize losing items, finding items. Make sure you stick around. Okay, so you ask yourself, once your items are selling and your inventory is depleting, after you're grabbing your items and sold items, hopefully you're having a lot of sales, and I'm sure you do if you're watching all of these videos. But you're gonna ask yourself, okay, so what do I do? What do I do? How do I consolidate? Remember, we're going from left to right. I started this shelf earlier, but again, I'm going left to right. I already have here. So I'm gonna grab the ones on the bottom here, which are the next ones, right? The next ones to go over, then the next one. And this, I don't need to consolidate as much, but if I see that I can put one, so I grab from the first one over, all the way to the back on this one. I can add one more, and I'll put it here. So I try to push as many as I can, so so every 3 months, this I'm able to do it again and save some boxes, empty boxes. Again, I'm gonna go again and push it forward and put the ones in the front all the way to the back, so we continue with that same system, right? I get a little more space on this box and push this towards the front and grab the one on the bottom or on the next one. In this case, it's on the bottom. So I'm gonna continue to do the same thing. So I keep that system going. Okay, I'm gonna pull one more. And here you'll see pushing all the way to the front. The first ones on the next box go behind it. And I'm able to free a box to continue with more items. And I'll do that every single one after the other one, with the same sequence, left to right, and I'm able to get empty boxes for tomorrow's picture. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue to go all around. It's a process because of the size of my store. It does take me probably a couple hours, 2 to 3 hours. So I try to do a daily routine at the end of the day. I consolidate a small space. As you can see, I already have this shelf almost empty on this side. So these ones are gonna come up there, and then I'm gonna go around. What's gonna happen next is, once I get this storage full, I'm gonna go on the next shelf, and the first one on the left is gonna become here. Then I'm gonna bring that over, and that's how I'm gonna move all of my inventory to the front, so I have more room on this side to add more inventory. What I'm gonna do, since you know I have another storage where I'm building the other 5,000 for these are 5,000 listings here, I'm gonna start bringing more and push them into here. That way my other storage empties up, so I can add more. And that's how I consolidate each storage. I do that every 3 months, but every day I do small increments. So when I'm ready for a shelf, I already have, let's say, half of it. When I'm ready to move all of the stuff, then I just consolidate all boxes, and they all come towards the beginning of the shelf. Okay, finishing the last of this shelf. So again, following the sequence, this is the one before last. So we're putting the front ones to the back again, and that will finish this shelf. Try to pack them as much as I can so I can maximize the space. So I got 4 left. What I'm gonna do, the next one that I'm gonna bring down to finish these 2 shelves, now I'm starting in the same sequence, left to right. I'm gonna go to the next shelf, and I'm gonna grab the first one over, and it's gonna go here. But I gotta finish this last one. What I'm gonna do in this case, I'm just gonna put this on the front because it's almost full, and I know I can fit this 4 in here. That way we have another box. We'll continue with the second one on top, and it's gonna go here. Same one. That way we just finish this and we continue with that same sequence, so we can consolidate all of the boxes, and regain new boxes for new inventory. One thing you got to keep in mind, whether you're using a bin system, or you're using this numeric system for inventory, mistakes are going to happen. There's ways to minimize those mistakes. The system that I'm talking to you right now is the sequential number. I went from having a lot of I was missing a lot of items. I couldn't find them, or it took me a long time to find them when I was ready to ship. This alleviate all of that. The only problem that you're gonna encounter, and that's being completely transparent, completely honest, it's a human error. You cannot stop that unless you're a machine, not even a machine. So human error will occur, and what I found that helped me on that, as I mentioned before, I think I don't know if I had it or not, but I have dyslexia. That means that the numbers, I alter them sometimes, and I find myself finding a lot of errors that way. The way I minimize that is very, very simple. I show you the numbers. So you have a four sequential numbers. What I do on my listings on the SKU, whenever I put the SKU numbers, before this number, I put the date. Let's say today's October 13th. So we're gonna go 0913 and then these numbers. Two reasons. I cover my problem, because I know that is my downfall. It's that I sometimes mix the numbers. That's how I find out I was making a lot of mistakes. So in order for me to help me, and I'm sure it's going to help you, even if you don't have that problem, is maybe you misplaced a number. Maybe for whatever reason you missed this, or maybe it was returned and you put the wrong number. There's multiple things that could happen. So let's say you can't find this number. It could be that whenever you were consolidating the boxes, it's in the other box, or it's two spots before or one spot after while you were consolidating, and you can't find it. The first thing that I'll do is I'm gonna go back to my active listings, and I'm gonna look by date, right? So I know that on September 13th, I did whatever listings you're doing, whether you're doing 5 a day, 6 a day, 8 a day, 20, 40. So you know that day you were doing 20 listings a day. So you're gonna go by this date, and you'll see all of the listings that were done that same day on your active listings, starting with your SKU number, but starting with the first date. That way, once you find all of the 20 items, you're gonna find this number in, let's say, between 8620 to 8636, as an example. In between that gap, this is where it should be. So it could be because it was misplaced. You don't find it in the same sequence. That's the first thing that I do. That's the first thing that I look. The second way that it helps me alleviate those type of mistakes, at the end of the listings, at the end of the pictures, the last picture that goes into my listings, and that's me putting that on there. You're allowed 12 pictures per day per listing, and I'm putting this is my last picture. This is the last number. That is for two reasons. We have a VAs that help us assist with the listings. So this is the way we tell them, or they know which number to put in the SKU number. Obviously the date, it goes without saying, that's what they put before, but this is what we tell them. But let's say you can't find the item, you misplace it in your inventory. You go back to your listings, you look at the last picture, and that is the number in case you misplace it or you put it in the wrong item, just like I did many times. So we're all humans, and the number one mistake that we make It's the human error is the one that we can control. And these are the steps, this is the things that I do in order for me to help me navigate this inventory. So stick around, I got one more tip that's gonna help you be a better reseller. The last thing I wanted to show you, the last tip that I wanna give you is after you find your inventory system, whether it's bins or numeric system, once you do, like I told you, I try to consolidate as I can during the, like at the end of the shift. I try to consolidate 1 or 2 boxes, and then I start kind of building. Once I see a lot of spots that I'm able to really consolidate the whole storage, then I'll do that. I'll take 3 hours out of the day and I'll just push everything towards the front so the end becomes available for me to add more items. So that is what I do to keep my inventory organized and to maximize my time whenever I'm shipping and I'm able to find items. The other thing that I'm going to tell you, and the other tip that I'm going to give you is, really, this is the second time that I do it. I've been reselling, well, maybe the third time, actually, sorry. The third time that I do it, I've been reselling since 2019, on and off part-time, 3 years full-time. One thing that I started doing, and I didn't realize until I moved from my apartment to here, is I asked my daughter to help me really check the items that I have. So we went item by item into the computer, and guess what we found? We found a lot of items that were not listed. And these are items that I put up, and they're great items. They're not selling because they're nowhere to be found on eBay. Many reasons. One is the algorithm pushed them down. Myself, my VAs missed it. Multiple reasons. It got returned. It was misplaced. You couldn't find it. There's multiple reasons. I just give you a few examples of how you can minimize that. But you will still find some. Today on this shelf, which is the largest shelf, I found probably 10, 15 items. These are great items that were not even listed on my store. So this is something that I do every 6 months, every 6 months, or whenever I'm consolidating the whole store. I look for, I go into each shelf, kind of look item box by box and see, and making sure that those items are there. Again, I found about 15 to 20 great items that were not anywhere to be found. And the reason is either eBay put them out, deleted it. I still haven't found that answer. If you know that, or if you have a theory or why that happens, this is the third time that I do it, and every single time on every shelf, I found 10 or 15 items that are not listed. And some of them I remember making the listings. I don't know why. So if you know, please leave it in the comments below so we can learn from that. But that is the last tip, and I always do it. I do it twice a year, every 6 months. And I don't want that stuff to sit around. I want that stuff to sell. So I'm sure you do want the same. Again, please subscribe. Please like the video, share the video, and let's build a great community. See you in the next video. Peace.